That's a tiredness factor, isn't it, that he's holding the head?
Well, yes, it is. I've not noticed it happen too much during the fight. It seems a bit early for Dave Paris to be talking about docking points. He just obviously lost his temper with them a bit there. It's understandable they're getting tired, and infringements will start. Of course, it's a defence mechanism too. If your opponent's head comes in pretty low at you, you're going to naturally look to push it down. You don't want your opponent coming up with his head and hit you in the face.
Dave Paris, a no-nonsense referee, just let Booth know that he'd seen it, wasn't happy with it, and certainly wasn't going to tolerate it. Now, 3 rounds left, and you just get the feeling if one of these two men can find an extra gear here and dominate from here till the end of the fight, this title could be theirs. But equally, if you had to put your money on one of them, you'd fancy the champion from here.
Well, yes, I've got Sting ahead of my card by about 3 rounds, and although he is the champion, don't forget, he's boxing in his challenger's backyard, and that has a little influence. The crowd cheering every time the Booth goes forward will affect the judges' scoring. They may not be able to see a punch and assume one is landing because the crowd are cheering, so it does have an influence. We never know. Some of the crowd is shouting, "You've got to win the title, Nicky, go forward." Well, to be fair to him, he's tried his real hardest, and there shouldn't be any complaints about that.
Yes, everybody's got a bright idea from the safe side, haven't they?
Yeah.
Some of the stuff you hear, I'm sure you've heard it enough in the past.
Yeah. In fact, the fighter very rarely hears what the crowd is saying. They may pick out the odd familiar voice and listen to that, but very rarely do you hear it. You're concentrating so hard.
Well, if Booth's going to have any real chance, this is where he's really got to stamp himself on it.
Every now and again you get a really hard shot, but the majority of these punches now are just little arm punches inside. Again, the right hook gets through from Sting. And it's in this last minute, Nick, you may really see them let some big punches go now.
Yeah, it's like they're pacing themselves, isn't it? It's useful from Booth. Can he follow up, capitalise? Almost got a little bit lazy there, the Australian.
Yeah, maybe overconfident. Good right hand from Booth.
Well, we talked about Booth having a bit of a rocky spell in the last round. It's Sting that's looking a little bit leg weary here. Hasn't done much at all in this 10th round, the champion.
No, he hasn't, and whereas he's not in the same alarming state in trouble as Booth was in the last, he's certainly losing the round on points. And the right hand from Booth is getting through continually, and now the fatigue may be starting to set into Sting.
Well, this has been Booth's best round in quite a while, and that might give him a foundation to build a strong finish from. That was not good from Sting.
And he does look tired in the corner.
Oh, you heard him saying it. They both called it 6 minutes. 6 minutes is a long time in boxing. He's not home yet, Nathan Sting, and he does look weary, doesn't he? Looking down, gulping up air. Booth, we know, can go the full distance comfortably.
He was actually asking for confirmation only 2 rounds at the very beginning there, Sting, and he's feeling it and wants this one over very quickly. Come on, babe. Come on, Will.
Well, over the course of a 12-round fight, they say that every boxer needs to take a breather somewhere. They can't just go at a full lick the whole time. Maybe that was Nathan Sting's breather, although Nicky Booth will be hoping that maybe Nathan Sting's tank just hit empty. We'll find out here in round 11.
Well, that's his reply.
Or is this is the last flourish before the gas does run out. You still just get the feeling in this fight anything could happen.
Very fast hands from Sting.
Looks like a different fighter from the one that took the belt at the end of the 10th.
Yeah, that's right. And maybe you're correct. Maybe it was just a breather.
Well, Cook's got to keep the heat on.
He's being beaten to the punch again, isn't he?
Yeah, he's letting Sting off the hook here, and this is the pattern of the middle rounds, the rounds that we think Sting has put in his back pocket.
He senses now that Booth is under pressure.
Yes. And suddenly it's Booth that's looking a little bit weary.
So that right hook gets through again and hurts Booth.
Anytime Booth goes into a shell like he is now, you know he's not happy, because this is not how he boxes. It's all or nothing with Nicky Booth, and right now there's not a lot coming back. And you can just tell from the atmosphere at ringside, they sense it. They know their man is in trouble.
Well, still good work from Booth, to be fair, but just being beaten to the punch slightly by the champion.
Well, he landed some good shots, but look what happened. The Australian took him and came back with more of his own.
It's a terrific performance from Booth. I know we think he's been beaten, but really is quality stuff. He's just in with a man who is at the very top of his game, and probably nearer maturity than Booth. Although Booth's had not had an easy career, but he's only 23. But really in pressure here. Last 2 seconds of the 11th, and he needs the break.
He certainly does, and if round 10 was a bit problematic for Nathan Sting, round 11 has gone very much according to his script.
There's nothing in those punches now. They're little short arm punches, no energy left in the body whatsoever.
You just get the feeling this man's chance is gone. There was just